Hey guys, Ellie Showstack here. Hope you are doing well. Hope you are doing awesome. And just wanted to touch base with you for a few minutes about how to be courageous in the world of dating. So first, what's really important to understand is two things. Number one, why most people will have a difficult time when they look at the world of dating. Okay, so what we're going to talk about just for briefly is why people find the world of dating to be so daunting, because first you have to identify the problem before you solve it. So we're going to really identify what exactly the world of dating poses to people who are either recently divorced, or they're divorced for many years, or they're trying to get back into relationships. So why it's so difficult to begin with. And then once we identify what the problem is, we're then going to go ahead and show you how to increase courage so that you could be successful within the dating world itself. Okay? So I like to bring up stories of my clients and bring up stories of that I've gone through myself. And the first thing that I can think of was that I was single for 11 years. And during those 11 years, I wore a toupee on my head. And I actually just told that to somebody today who's known me for years, and she couldn't believe it, that I wore a toupee for 17 freaking years, my friend, okay? That's a long time to have fake hair on your head. Anyways, so here I am in the dating world, and I'm trying to, date people and get into a relationship. And believe me, even when I was dating then, it was daunting. It was daunting then without all the technology, but it was extremely daunting. And the reason why, for me, it was so daunting, and then I'll explain to you a little bit about what some of my clients are going through right now. The reason why it was so daunting for me was because my mind frame was completely fucked up, okay? And the reason why it was so screwed up was because I had this way of thinking, which was basically no hair at 18, I started going bald at 18, 19, equals ridicule, which I was made fun of, equals no friends, equals no girlfriend, equals no wife, equals die alone. So I went from balding to die alone. That was like the equation that I made, okay? So for me going into the dating world, I was so fearful because I was afraid that no one would like me because I had no hair or I was going bald. So I fought it like a banshee, and then you could watch all my other videos where I explain about how I put on a toupee and I fought with that and this and that. So that was my frame of being. And mind you, by the way, you're going to love this. I was a clinical social worker at the time, okay? So here I am, a clinical social worker, helping people find their truth, all the while wearing a freaking toupee on my head. Yeah, kind of ironic, don't you think? And I go ahead and I'm in the dating world, and constantly, like, when I'd be on dates, I'd be looking at their eyeballs to see, are they looking up at my hairline? Are they looking up at my hairline? Can they see my hairline? Can they see my hair? Can they see, are they looking at me? Are they going to find out my secret? Are they going to find it out? So fast forward, I find an incredible human being. We're married now. This July will be 18 years. Okay, that's my baby doll, Brooke, who is freaking ass awesome. Love her. And I developed in my coaching practice, I switched from therapy to coaching. I developed this program called Find the Right One. And in that program, I help singles and those who are divorced or have been single for years, have seen therapists and haven't been able to get the help that they need, not only get into a relationship, but also keep the relationship. So that's what I do now. So to give you a little bit an example of how do you become courageous in order to go into that world of dating, you need to identify the problem. So my problem was my unhealthy thinking, right? And I needed to change my thinking in order for the relationship to not only for me to get into the relationship, but to also keep it. So these principles I'm using daily in my marriage with my wife in order for me to actually keep the marriage and keep it not a marriage where I come out, I'm like, oh, the old ball and chain, I can't stand her, it makes me sick. The guys that complain about the wife and this and that. No, I actually love her more and more each day. I actually appreciate her more and more each day. So the idea is that in my situation, it was the unhealthy thinking. I needed to change the thinking, and then I could experience more courage in relationships, right? So now let's understand why there are so many singles who look at the world of dating and will actually become very, very disappointed and fearful of the world of dating. So I work with clients who are ages, I would say 30 all the way till about 65, okay, men and women who are both successful and really have their shit together in many areas of their life, whether it's in their work, whether it's in their finances. And in this one area, in this world of dating, they struggle with it, okay? And when you struggle with the world of dating, it sometimes pisses you off so much because how come I'm able to get, all these other concepts down in my life, all these other areas, but in this one area, I'm having this difficult time. So the first thing that we need to do is understand why you might be viewing the world of dating as daunting, as annoying, as frustrating. All of these things that you're experiencing are extremely normal and they all make sense. Let's not judge them as good or bad, and the world of dating sucks, and when you're over 40 it sucks, and when there are no guys in my vicinity who I can trust, there are no girls who want to go out with someone like me, there's no women, all these reasons that I hear, and I've talked to hundreds of singles, I've worked with many singles, and every one of them starts off, before they start my program, with many reasons as to why the world of dating sucks. Okay, so I get it. The mind, your mind, okay, your mind is trained from an evolutionary perspective to prevent you from experiencing pain. Okay? So for example, if you are a baby and you touch a stove and that's on and you experience that pain, right? Let's say you're a little bit older than a baby. Let's say you're 4 or 5 years old and you touch that stove. You will have an association in your brain that stoves cause pain. As you get older, you may grow out of that association and understand that, yes, even though I touched the stove when I was a child and it was painful, I know now that it provides me with warm food. So I'm not necessarily going to hate stoves. I'm not necessarily going to look at an oven with fear. I'm going to be careful around the oven. I'm going to put my food only on the burner and not my hands on the burner. I'm going to make sure that I get my food warmed up without hurting myself. Now, some people who don't come to that realization, and they were burned, say, as a child by touching the stove, they might become very fearful, and they might not know why, of fire, of stoves, of cooking, of having anything to do with the flame near an oven. And like you'll talk to them and they'll be like, oh my God, I cannot understand how a chef could ever become a chef, because like they have to work with all these crazy flames near them all the time. And you look at them and you're like, what are you talking about? You just be careful. You don't put your hand in the flame. It's like, no, I never want to go near stove. I can't believe that all these people are chefs and they're devoting their lives to. So again, you can look at the situation from an outsider's perspective and understand that, yes, even though you may have been burned as a child by touching the stove, you now know what it's good for, and you now know that you use it to warm food and just to be careful. Okay, let's apply this example now to dating, right? So you are, let's make up one that's in my brain. You are married to your sweetheart, and your high school sweetheart. You met him or you met her at the end of high school, or you met him and him, whatever. It doesn't really matter. And you're together for about 10, 20 years, and 15 years, you now have 2 kids. And you know, you're already used to the rhythms, you're already used to the patterns of the relationship, and you know the fights, and you know what you guys get along with and you don't get along with. And then you find out that he's having an affair or she's having an affair, and you are like, holy shit. Okay? Right? Broken trust. And now you really begin to question your entire world and your entire existence, right? Because for many of you, and for this person that I'm talking about, your entire identity of who you are as a person is wrapped up into this relationship. So now what you thought was quote unquote safe is now the opposite of that stove. You now view the stove as massive pain. Massive pain. And you view relationships in general as massively painful, to the point that you really look at the world of dating in general very skeptical and with much pain and with much confusion and a lack of trust. You can't trust anyone. You never know how someone can hurt you. You never know how someone can go ahead and hurt you. Now, if you go up to that person that I just mentioned and you said, hey, I got a great program for you. Find the right one. You're going to be able to learn how to love yourself. You're going to be able to learn how to get into a relationship again. That person would say to me, no, not for me, not for me. Why not? Because dating is horrible. Dating sucks. I don't want a relationship. Now, can you understand why that person would say that? I would. Because they're viewing this relationship with massive amounts of pain. So in order for the person to be able to get into another healthy relationship, you almost have to do surgery. And it's not real surgery, but it's kind of similar to the thought all relationships are filled with pain and distrust. Now you're going to tell me, but how can I get rid of something that's true for me, right? Well, the idea is that what got you here is not going to get you there. Okay? So if you've gone through that type of pain and you associate all relationships with pain, you associate dating with waiting for the other person to get back to me, this is so annoying, this is so frustrating, this sucks, this, that. Okay? I have one client who just joined the program. I think she might be actually on. She might be on. So phenomenal human being, okay? Incredible psychologist. And She was telling me, you know, this process of learning to love myself is hard. It's difficult. Okay, I get it. But you know what? When you use words like this is hard, or this sucks, or this is difficult, all of those words, all of those ways of being, by just talking, it affects your entire viewpoint of what a relationship is, right? So even when I said, in the face of the daunting world of dating, I put daunting. So daunting means like you look at it and you're like afraid, right? So you immediately associate dating with this sucks, this is horrible, how am I going to get through this? When you go ahead and you say, wait a second here, wait a second, what got me here is not going to get me there. I need to go ahead and I need to change my way of thinking in order for me to achieve something new. Something new. So what you need to understand is that in order to be courageous, you need to first remove that old way of thinking, that dating sucks, that dating is filled with pain. And you're going to say to me, okay, but how do I do that? Okay. And that's exactly why people love to join my Find the Right One coaching program, because we take you through step by step of first noticing what you are thinking and how that way of thinking did not help you in getting you what you want. So if you want to be courageous and you want to have that sense of power and control, you need to first understand why it is that you view that world of dating in the way that you do. And then you need to have a very clear, simple way of looking at those thoughts and being able to, listen to this word, this is a big word, excise them, okay? Remove them, all right? So hopefully that this was helpful to you. I see a lot of people joined. If you want to find out more about the program, Find the Right One, message me. I'd love to hear your comments and your likes and your questions. And have an awesome day. Be courageous. Be you.